I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, we're diving into Living Life-Wise Increases Smile Size. It's written by a terrific author. Her name is Heather Aguilar. This inspiring book takes us on a journey through Heather's remarkable life, where she has postponed death 8 times and learned to live with wisdom and resilience. Through her compelling stories and personal experiences, Heather shows us the importance of perseverance, family, and living wisely. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today on Spotlight. We thank the team at Prime 7 Media for helping us put her in the spotlight today, and we ask viewers like you to support authors like her by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing her wonderful book. The links are below this interview. Heather, great to see you here today on Spotlight. Thank you for being my guest.
Thank you.
Great to have you on the show. You avoided death 8 times. Tell us how that has happened. What do you account that to?
When I was 9 days old and I was adopted, on the way home, when I was adopted when I was 9 days old, then my parents were driving home and it was raining. They were going downhill and they couldn't stop the vehicle. It slid through 4 lanes of people driving fast back and forth, and they were able to make it straight through.
Hmm.
Yes.
Amazing, amazing.
They were
Do you
very
do you do you feel God was at play there? Is that why you were spared?
Yes, always.
Yeah.
And then when I was 5 months old, not 5 months, 5 years old, when I was 5 years old, my parents took me to go to a sea to go swimming. And they said, you can't put your head under because you just had your ears pierced. And I was like, okay. But they also had my brother and my sister who they'd adopted. They were 3 years younger than I was. So I was just trying to stand in the sea with up to like my waist. And then the sea came up and up and it pulled me out. So I could not have my feet on the ground. And I was just going further and further away in the sea. I couldn't see my parents. They were focused on taking care of my brother and my sister. And I was like, oh, yeah. So I just folded my arms and put my head down under the water, say a prayer unto Heavenly Father to please help me through because I couldn't make it. And said my prayer, looked up, saw where my parents and people were, and I took a deep breath, put my head under, and I swam back. And I was able to make it to the shore, and I was able to get up, crawled onto the shore. I was like, yay! But I made it back because Heavenly Father has helped me through. I think I took my head up 1 or 2 times just to make sure I was going the right way. And then when that was when I was I went and I lived in France for 3 months. No, not 3 months. Yes, 3 whole months of September, October, and November. And so when I was back, they had moved to live in Egypt. And so I was staying with them. And when I was riding a horse bareback, I went to the back side of the temple where the ones who were just visiting there were on the front side, on top of a camel or a horse. Well, since I was riding bareback on the back side of the tall pieces like that.
Mm-hmm.
Then my horse was freaked out with all the dead items there
Mm.
that it had seen. And it turned back and was just going back as fast as it could
Mm.
to go back to where it lived. And there was one tree dividing the entrance and the exit of where it lived. And there was one man standing in front of it. I was like, I was trying to stop my horse, but I couldn't. And so the horse went to the other side of the person standing there. And I was thrown off and rolled through and whacked the back of my head, the only tree right there in the desert. And so I was rushed to the hospital. I took off my jewelry except for my gold anklet and take to the hospital. And they put me like almost totally asleep. And he stepped away, the doctor did. And the two nurses there, the male and female nurse, were like looking at my ankle. The male nurse saw my gold anklet. His eyes went big. He got near me and he was going to put me to sleep even faster with another one stamped into me. And I was like, oh, yeah. And I called the male doctor. I was like, oh, yeah. He turned around and was running back too. And I pointed to the male nurse there. And I said, hey, no, I can't. And I fell asleep. So I woke up alive, but the male nurse had apparently done something. My anklet was gone.
Mm.
So, and it was not said that it was of anywhere nearby.
Mm.
And I was like, oh, yeah. But I was alive. And that was because Heavenly Father has helped me through. And then the time after that was when I was driving in 1991. I was driving through Colorado at night, and I see in front of me a deer. And I was like, oh, yeah, I can't be hitting the deer. So I swerved to the left, and it leaped in front of me, and I yanked it to the right so it wouldn't go through my screen. And I flipped the car 3.5 times. I tried stopping the car. My arms got caught in the steering wheel. I broke both my arms. I ended up upside down by
Mm.
myself at night, strapped in my seatbelt, and both my arms broken. I couldn't get out.
Mm.
And so I said my prayer. And I said, dear Heavenly Father, help me through. I said a prayer.
Mm.
And I was like, I was looking down at my car and I saw an angel come through and took my body out. And I was set on the side of
Mm.
my car. And then I went back into my body and I had to walk through up to the edge of the road. And
Mm.
two guys were passing by. They stopped and helped me get to the hospital. That's because Heavenly Father has helped me through multiple times.
Yeah. Amazing. You really do have God looking out after you because you've been through so much. And fortunately, you have survived. And I understand your family was quite a large family. You're the oldest of 6 who were adopted in your family?
From around the world.
Wow. So you were adopted by some very good-hearted people, I'd imagine.
Oh, yes, they're wonderful.
Yeah, great. And tell us a little bit about your lifestyle. You don't drink soda, you don't drink coffee, you don't drink alcohol. You try to live clean, I guess, right?
Yes. When I was in a doctor's office, no, not a doctor. When I was in the hospital, I had to do a check of not having any soda
Mhm.
for a while, for like a week. And then after that, I didn't like the taste of the soda. So I was
Mm.
like, oh, I just won't have that either. And I haven't been having any alcohol or coffee.
Mm, that's good. That's a good way to live. You mentioned that food and water storage is important to you. Tell us why that's an important message in your book.
Because others need to have it as well. I want everyone to be safe
Yeah.
for the cost, and when things are going through, there will be a time when people will have to be having it when they can't even go shopping.
Yeah.
So just make sure that things are good for you and your loved ones.
Yeah. That's good advice. Tell me, what do you hope readers take away from your book? What do you hope they learn from your book?
How to be happy.
Mm, exactly. Well, that's an important message for sure. How do you stay positive? You've faced some difficult times in your life, but you've always maintained your positivity. How have you done that?
I just make sure that others are happy too. Whenever I'm going shopping in the grocery stores, I sometimes hear people crying on the side, and I go, "Oh, would you like a flapping bird?"
Mm,
And then I give that to them, and then that's the time when I can offer them, "Would you like to purchase a book?"
mm. Great, great.
Yeah,
Well, it's a wonderful book. I think everybody watching should purchase this book. It's called Living Life Wise Increases Smile Size.
yeah,
It's an inspiring book that takes us on a journey through Heather's remarkable life, where she has postponed death 8 times and learned to live with wisdom and resilience and with a smile on her face. Heather, thank you so much for joining us here today on Spotlight.
thank you very much.
I enjoyed talking to you. Thanks for your time. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time until next time on
Merci
Spotlight.
beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup.